The quiet hills outside Thran were supposed to be safe. But on the afternoon of November 27, 2020 in the small town of Absurd, silence didn't just break. It shattered. Imagine a black Nissan sedan rolling down a dusty road. Inside sits Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, the man the world called the heart of Iran's defense research. He is flanked by armed guards, and his wife is right beside him. Everything seems routine until the first crack of gunfire. But here is the thing. His bodyguards scramble, returning fire into the tree line. But there is no one there. No snipers. No hit squad. Just a parked blue pickup truck on the roadside that begins spitting lead with robotic, terrifying precision. Welcome back to the Digital Sleuth. Today we are opening a file that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a Tom Clancy novel. We are talking about the world's first AI-assisted satellite-controlled targeted killing. This isn't just a story about a hit. It is a cybercrime documentary in the most literal sense, where code in the satellites and facial recognition algorithms replace the human finger on the trigger. Fakhrizadeh was hit 13 times. His wife, sitting just 10 inches away. Not a single scratch. That isn't luck. That is the terrifying precision of a machine that knew exactly who it was looking for and exactly who to ignore. To understand how a machine decides to kill, we have to look at the years of digital stalking that led to this moment. Fakhrizadeh wasn't just a scientist. To Mossad, he was a ghost. For over a decade, intelligence agencies engaged in what we call digital pattern mapping. They weren't just watching him. They were scraping his life. They intercepted academic emails, tracked his IP addresses at international conferences, and utilized dark web open source intelligence to map his entire network. But Fakhrizadeh was careful. He stayed off the grid and used decoys. To get to him, the attackers had to think bigger. In 2018, Mossad pulled off one of the greatest heists in history, stealing 50,000 documents from a secret archive in Tehran. Those files were the training data for the AI. How do you smuggle a 1-ton robotic weapon into a hostile country? You don't send it in a crate labeled Assassination kit. You break it down. You hide the motherboard in a water pump. You disguise the servos as industrial machinery. This is a classic supply chain attack. But for physical hardware, the weapon itself was a modified Belgian FNMAG. But the brain was a high-resolution camera linked to a neural network trained on thousands of images of Fakhrizadeh's face. Because of the 1,000-mile distance between the operator and the target, there was a satellite lag, about a 1.6-second delay. In the world of high-stakes ballistics, that is an eternity. To fix this, the AI didn't just see him. It predicted where his head would be 1.6 seconds into the future. While this was happening on a dusty road, a much larger battle was raging in the digital shadows. This case is a perfect example of hybrid warfare. For every physical bullet fired, there were 1 million lines of code launched in retaliation. Immediately following the attack, the digital floodgates opened. We saw a massive spike in major phishing attacks targeting Israeli defense contractors. Iranian-linked hacker groups like APT-33 and Charming Kitten shifted their focus from simple data theft to aggressive infrastructure probing. They weren't just looking for files. They were looking for backdoors into water authorities and power grids. This is what we call digital tit-for-tat. During our investigation, we found that several construction workers spotted near the site in Absurd were actually local assets recruited via dark web job boards. They thought they were installing remote monitoring equipment for a private security firm. They were unknowingly the hands of a ghost gun. It is a reminder that cybercrime isn't always about stealing your credit card. Sometimes it is about social engineering people into becoming cogs in a lethal machine. Now, look. You might not be a high-level nuclear scientist, but the tech used in this assassination, facial recognition, satellite tracking, and social engineering, is the same tech used in everyday financial fraud and cybercrime. If a satellite can track a car in Tehran, a scammer can track your digital footprint. So how do we fight back? First, obfuscate your pattern. High-profile targets change their routes. You should change your digital route by using a VPN, rotating your passwords, and not posting your routine on social media. Second, hardware security. If you are a business owner, your supply chain is your biggest weakness. Who makes your routers? Who services your servers? Third, the human firewall. Most hacks start with a conversation. Whether it is a LinkedIn message from a recruiter or a WhatsApp from a friend, verify before you trust. After the shots were fired, the Nissan truck in Absard self-destructed. A single command sent over the satellite link triggered a thermite charge, melting the circuits into slag. No fingerprints. No DNA. Just a scorched frame and a lingering digital echo. For Tehran, it was a humiliation. For the world, it was a warning. We have entered the era of the algorithmic assassin. I am the digital sleuth. And if you want to stay one step ahead of the shadows, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We drop a new declassified file every day. Tell me in the comments. Does this level of technology make the world safer through precision? Or did we just open a door we can never close? Stay safe. Stay encrypted. I will see you in the next one.